Another of those who died was Gordon Gentle from Glasgow. He was killed by an IED in June 2004. His mother, Rose, attended today's event where she condemned Tony Blair, who she says is responsible for murdering her son. In the years since her son died, she has become one of the most prominent campaigners for the truth behind the invasion, as well as the co-founding the military families against the war group which campaigned for the withdrawal of British troops from Iraq. She joins us now, along with General Sir Mike Jackson, who was head of the British Army during the invasion of Iraq, and Lord Falconer, the former Lord Chancellor, who was a close ally of Tony Blair and supported the invasion in 2003. And Rose Gentle, you have been trying to reach Tony Blair for some face-to-face, but you can't, and I'm wondering what you would say to his friend Charlie Faulkner.
The families were just really asking. Gordon was killed 12 years ago, and we had asked Tony Blair for a face-to-face meeting, and the response I got back from him was a meeting with you would be impossible. And I just wanted a meeting with the man that sent my son to Iraq. And they never gave us a meeting, and that's why we kept saying, well, if he's not going to meet with the families, we need to speak up for ourselves. But it's still to the day, he refused to meet any of the families.
Well, I mean, he should obviously meet the families, and I'm quite sure that you wouldn't agree. And I mean, he obviously feels very, very deeply what happened. Obviously not remotely the sort of pain that you're feeling, but he, I'm sure, would be willing to see you.
But if he feels that way, why is he just feeling it today? How has he not felt it 12 years ago when I lost Gordon in Iraq? And then came face me and told us how he felt then?
Well, I think he's been feeling it every day since the invasion started and British soldiers died.
No, honestly, I think if he'd had any remorse, he'd have done it years ago, and that might have prevented us asking a lot of questions and fighting for a lot of questions. If he'd have sat down with families and went, this is what happened, we could have said, right, at least he had decency to meet with us and explain stuff. But he's left it so long now, that's why we don't even trust him now.
Well, I mean, I am sure that he would see you, and I am sure that it would be right that you did have an exchange.
Would you mention it to him?
Of course, yes.
Can I just ask you about your own role? Because the legal advice about going to war was absolutely critical. And you are accused within the report of having pressured the Attorney General to change his legal advice.
Well, no such thing occurred. I didn't realise I was criticised in the report for that.
Well, did you?
No, I did not.
So how come he changed his advice so dramatically in the space of 10 days?
Well, he didn't see me during those 10 days, and he thought, having spoken to other people, that he had a different view about the legal position. But it was not as a result of talking to me.
It's quite a screechy U-turn, isn't it?
Well,
From saying the war was illegal, that we had to get that second resolution of the United Nations, suddenly to say, well, actually, you can go.
Well, he says that there are two views, and one view forms one that both are reasonably a reasonable basis for going to war, though he accepts that there's a contrary view.
What would you like to say to the general who was leading the British military effort?
Do you know, I have not got a problem with the forces at all. They were told to go and do their job, and they were taking orders.
At the end of the day, it is our duty to follow the direction of the duly elected government.
But I wonder, was there ever a moment when you told Tony Blair the truth, that this was an unwinnable mission?
Forgive me, but...
You never saw him?
No.
Well, did you ever tell anybody...
Well, in the Chiefs of Staff, it's very important this is understood.
Did you tell the Minister of Defence that this was an unwinnable war?
No, because that was not my assessment, that it was unwinnable.
But
No.
I mean, how much did you know? You were being asked to go to a foreign field.
What I was quite clear about is that the immediate objective, so-called Phase 3, was the defeat of Saddam Hussein's armed forces in the field, and that never concerned me. That was not possible. It was the aftermath, so-called Phase 4, where I had real concerns.
But you see, Sir John Chilcot says, for example, that the kit, all sorts of things, there were enormous problems. And many of the men didn't even have desert boots. You had that young man there saying, you know, we'd only ever train for Northern Europe.
I don't want to be boring and over-technical, but it's important this is understood. Under the Strategic Defence Review, the assumption was there'd never be more than a brigade, 7,000 or 8,000 ever, in a hot and sandy place. We more than doubled that because of the circumstances, and of course, it wasn't. That kit was not on the shelves. It had to be bought in. The other problem was the green light for military preparation was not given till around Christmas, New Year, 2002. So there was under 3 months because of political sensitivity on the one hand and the US refusal to delay on the other. So that window was very, very tight.
Let me ask you then, both of you, what is your judgment on the war now?
Well, Rose is not the first next of kin that I have thought, was it worth it? And I leave my jury out, even now, the blood and the treasure that's been expended. And to be fair, the aim was to get Iraq into a better place and not a regional threat as it was and was growing.
Well, that was...
It doesn't look much like it at the moment.
No.
I have to
Lord
accept
Falconer.
that. But you know, I want to think that all that effort and sacrifice was not in vain.
Lord Falconer, briefly.
We shouldn't have gone because the weapons of mass destruction were not there. I don't think that the war, though, has caused all of the problems that are now attributed to it.
And Rose, what do you want now? Beyond meeting Tony Blair, beyond that, what do you want?
I think there's still a lot more to come out. We got so much today. And as a mum that's lost a 19-year-old son, I need to know everything. And I think
do you want legal action?
I wouldn't even say we're going to get in for legal action. We need to find everything that's in these files and then maybe take advice.
Rose Gentle, thank you very, very much for coming in. General Lord Falconer, thank you very much indeed.